All right, welcome everybody to the final match of the ladies singles for the Southeast Asia Games, and we've got Eala. She's in the final and going for gold. I think she won a bronze medal 4 years ago at this event, and unfortunately lost in the mixed doubles, which was her other event. She did win a bronze in that because if you lose in the semis, you get a bronze, and also she lost in the team event. So she's trying to get the Philippines a gold in the singles, which I don't know if... let me triple check. I'm not sure how the Philippines have done in other categories in this event. But she's taking on a Thai player. So the local, by the way, packed stadium. It doesn't look nearly as hot because it's a bit overcast today. So the crowds have come out because the sun doesn't look so blistering hot. So yeah, she's taking on Sawangkaew, who beat Chen in the semis, which was huge. So let's see what happens and see if Eala can win the gold. She is the heavy favorite, no surprise. She definitely should win this match. She hasn't had any trouble. She was down, I think, a break in the first set of her first match, but then she came back to win. So she should get it done, you would expect. But from what we saw with Sawangkaew in the semi-final, she did look very, very aggressive and very fired up. So it's not going to be easy. Eala might have to work a little harder than she would have expected. But let's see. Let's see if Eala can take home the gold. How are we doing, chat? By the way, chat, it is stinking hot in my house. So that's fun. It is currently... what is it now? The noise in the background is a fan because I don't have aircon because it broke. It's currently 37 Celsius, which is, I think, 100 degrees. Feels like 39, though. And I went outside. It's definitely hot. Outside is windy as well, so it's hot and windy. So it feels like you're out there in you got a bunch of like hair dryers like pointing at your face, just blowing in your face while you're walking down the street in 40 degrees. It's brutal. But we will endure. Also, after this could be the last match we watch until after Christmas. So, yeah, that could be a thing. Unless we watch the Next Gen Finals final. But the problem with the Next Gen Finals is it's on a bad time for me. And also, this year especially, doesn't seem super... People don't seem to be super into it. So, I don't know if I'm going to stay up all night to watch a tournament that nobody cares about. I don't know. So unlikely. Also, there's nothing on next week because the World Tennis League is on right now. So the WTL usually is before Christmas. It's on at the moment. So, yeah. The first time in a long time that we don't have any tennis before Christmas, like the days before. And then after Christmas, we've got a bunch of matches which we'll be trying to watch. And then we'll watch, obviously, the season starts on the 2nd of Jan and we'll go from there. But, yeah. It's pretty quiet. Bushfire, yeah. I mean, that's the scary part about today in Australia. It's like in Victoria, because if it's hot and it's windy, that's when bad things happen. If it was just hot, okay, but when it's hot and the wind, it's like can get pretty sketchy pretty quick. So, and it's going to be hot tomorrow too. So it's not like today's like one day and then it's cold. It's a bit scary today. Today, hopefully, everyone will be okay. But it could get scary, so hopefully it's not going to be like that. The season really starting in 2 or 3 weeks, but it's a long time, even though it's not a long time. Yeah. Also, just to go through the results, if I can find them. Where the hell are the results? By the way, the Alcaraz thing yesterday, I said the other day, I said, nothing's really happened. Whoops. Whoops. Sorry. So far the medals in the in the event have gone to 2 gold medals to Indonesia, 2 silver to Thailand, and a bronze. And then Philippines, Malaysia, and Indonesia have all won a lot of bronze medals as well. So 2 golds to Indonesia, 2 silvers to Thailand, and then Thailand, Philippines, Malaysia, and Indonesia all have won a lot of bronze. So Indonesia is sweeping at the moment in this event. They won the men's team event and the women's team event. Thailand are going to... Hello?
Hi, Merry Christmas. Come and
thank you, Dutchie.
Christmas tree.
Thank you, Dutchie, for the 2. Appreciate it. So the mixed doubles is going to be between Thailand and Thailand. So they're going to win that. The men's doubles is between Thailand and Thailand. So Thailand are going to win 2 gold medals at least in the doubles. The women's doubles hasn't been confirmed yet. I don't know who's in the final for that. Men's singles, I think, is tomorrow. I think today is men's doubles after this, and then tomorrow is men's singles and women's doubles, I think. I think that's the schedule for tomorrow. Yeah, so the mixed doubles is between, the number 1 and number 4. Eala lost to the number 1 seeds, her and her partner. And then the men's doubles is between, Thailand and Thailand as well. The mixed double, that's all it's got. Men's singles is between Thailand and Thailand as well. So Thailand kind of dominating the tennis, at least the last couple of matches. And if they win this one, I mean, that would be a whole other thing. So Thailand and Indonesia are doing winning the tennis at the moment. All right. Hey, thank you, Nemo, for the 27 months. It's pushing 40 in Adelaide. I know, yeah. It's brutal all around. All right. Sawangkaew is the opponent. The crowd's gone wild for her. They're just warming up the serves, and then we'll see what happens. Eala's got to be sharp here because this could be awkward. Sawangkaew's been very good this week. She was very good against Chen as well. We watched a little bit of her, which was helpful. She did not let Chen play well. And Chen did retire, so a lot of people are going to look at that and go, oh man, Chen quit. No, I mean, these events, players don't quit these medal events. If they retire, it's something serious, and you have to give Sawa a lot of praise for pushing Chen physically to the brink and forcing her to retire, because that's what it was. It was a forced retirement. It wasn't just I'm too tired, I don't want to play today. It was a physical first set before Chen had to retire. Sawa is the 3rd seed, so it's not like she's she is out of nowhere, but not in this tournament. She's the 3rd seed. She is 238 in the world. She was 100 in the world at the start of this year, and also she will be playing the main draw of the Australian Open because her protected ranking, because she didn't play for 6 months to end the season from Roland Garros to November, she didn't play. So she has a protected ranking of 100, so that gets her into the Australian Open main draw without playing qualies. So we're going to see this lady play at the Australian Open this year, or next year, if she's healthy. So keep an eye on where she falls in the draw, because like I said, yesterday, or the other day when we watched her play Chen, she was showing some shots and some fight. She's got that aggression, so really fun to watch. So definitely keep an eye on her. She hasn't lost a set all week either. Eala, she's won both her matches in straights as well, but Sawa has earned her spot here. All right, Eala to serve. Let's see what happens. Best of 3-set match for the gold. Pressure on Eala, obviously, as we get a forehand out of the forehand of Sawa. Backhand out from Eala. And Sawa backhand into the backhand of Eala. Sawa with a forehand of the stretch. Eala goes down the line and hits a winner. No, it was out. This crowd is so loud. This crowd is so like everything Eala does wrong is going to be cheered to the extreme. Sawa has at least 95% of the crowd. Love 15. Also, the Aussies are kicking England's butt, so that's fun too. It's been a good day around. Also, then after this, I have to go on I'll have to go on an adventure to find some chairs. All right, love 15. We're serving now the forehand of Sawa. Back in now from Eala. Sawa forehand. Getting the forehand of Eala as Sawa with the forehand cross-court. The backhand of Eala, who hits a slice in the net. It's love 30. Now, there will be a lot of nerves for Eala because she's the heavy favourite. She's supposed to win this. And even though the crowd's against her and she's in like a hostile environment, the expectation of her taking home the gold, especially when Philippines haven't won any gold medals in the tennis, she is supposed to win one. Now, she was supposed to play Chen if the rankings had decided who makes the final, and that would have been probably a 50-50. Eala should win this, so there's going to be a lot of nerves, especially playing for your country as well, right? I mean, this is a big event. There's been a slice lob from Sawa. Eala gets it back as Sawa comes in with a drop volley. Winner, I think. Yep, love 40. Jeez. Did I say she was dangerous? Love 40. Sawa is playing like a top 50 player. I was watching the Ashes on TV here at lunch break at work. Lyon 2 wickets in an over. Yeah. The scary part for England is that Lyon and Cummins are coming in after Lyon didn't play the last test and Cummins hasn't played. So they're going to be fired up. I mean, Lyon was pissed that he got dropped. There's been a 4 out to the slice of Sawa. Sawa hits a wide. It's 15-40. Like an angry lion on a pitch that's going to spin. Good luck. Like, Lion's going to get like a 5. He's going to get like a 10 for because he's just going to prove a point. He's going to be like, oh, yeah, you dropped me, did you? All right. He's just going to rip. He's going to blame it on England. Poor England. 15-40. As Eala says, a fault. Sun's starting to come out as well, by the way. It is 10 o'clock in the morning local time, so it's pretty warm still, but it'll only get hotter. Second serve. Into the back of the Sawa, return in the net. 30-40. This is a crazy atmosphere, by the way. All right. Want to watch the cricket, but I will fall asleep in 2 seconds. Yeah. Watching cricket overnight is tough. Watching cricket during the day when it's in the background and doing stuff, totally, like, it's fine. I can do that, but when the cricket's on at night, yeah, it's rough. All right, anyways, forehand out from Eala. Sawa slices it back. Eala, forehand down the line's a winner. Beautiful shot. Eala gets the deuce. 3 break points saved. Philippines already won gold in 1998. Oh, did they? There you go. There you go. By the way, chat, just like a tennis player, I have a towel in case it gets too hot in here. It's a brutal day. All right. We get the deuce. It's with a forehand from Eala. Sawa slice. As Eala hits back in down the line. Sawa with a pass. Eala with a volley. Sawa's going to get there with a lob. Eala's going to hit the smash. And put it away. Tough smash. Put it away easily, though. Advantage Eala. We covered WTA Manila. Probably. I don't know. It's hard because it's on during the Australian Open. It's on during the Australian Open, so it'll depend. More water cam. Yeah, I know. I've got a matcha here. That helps. I'll tell you, if I can get through today without an aircon, I don't need an aircon. Today's like the hottest day in a long, long time. Yeah, it's 38 degrees. And that's outside. Inside, it's probably around. It's just really like my house is not. It's not hot. It's just like stuffy. If that makes sense. Like the airflow in my house is 0. There's a forehand backhand rally. Sawa into the forehand of Eala. Sawa gets with the forehand down the line. Eala's in control. Sawa backhand goes in the net. Good hold. Eala from love 40 down gets back and holds in the first game of the gold medal match. Tomorrow's going to be 34. But it's currently 37. Feels like 39, and in the shade it's 35. But the worst part about right now is that it's windy outside. So, hot and windy. Luckily, I don't have the windows open. All the windows are closed, but the wind is hot. So that sucks. We'll trade minus 23. Now, because minus 23, you can't leave the house. I could leave the house. It's just uncomfortable. Minus 23, you got to like shovel your way out of the house. I can't be bothered doing that. You got to work to leave. Nah. I might take the 40 degrees inside with an aircon. With the option to leave the house if I want. By the way, speaking of next gen finals, which we don't watch, but it's on, Tien lost. Tien lost in the first match. What an upset. Yeah, he lost in like a 5 setup. Anyways, I hate the format. I hate the scoring. Anyways, that goes wide by Sawa, and it's love 15. Yeah, he lost in 5 to Joda. Joda, I think his name is. Yoda, maybe, I don't know. Hoda? Is it Huda? Maybe. Anyways, backhand goes wide by Sawa, and it's love 30. Eala, a chance to get the break. Break point here. Love 30. But then our boy Budkov, he got the win, so that's good. Budkov got the win. We love that. You got like Basevaretti and Prismic playing, so it's not, and Landalucci, so it's not like totally random. Those guys, we've watched them once or twice before, but yeah, it's just we could have had Fonseca and Menchik, and then we would have probably tuned in. Love 30, double fault. All right, love 40. Eala to get the break here. All right, love 40. By the way, chat, if you weren't here for the Chen match a couple of days ago and you don't know who Sawangu is, she was a very good junior. She hits a good serve down the tee, and it's 15-40. Very good junior player, top 10 junior player back in 2017-18. Came up with sort of Zhang, I guess is probably the biggest name of that. Towson, you know, that generation of players, she was sort of in the top 10 around with them, who were also in the top 10 at the time. Fernandez, right? She hits another good serve, 30-40. Very good junior, you know, solid top 10 junior. Made quarterfinals of Junior Grand Slam. Never won a Junior Grand Slam, but made quarterfinals and did well. But just hasn't done what her, you know, her classmates have done from that generation of juniors. As Eala hits a back forehand into the forehand of Sawa. A bit of a moonball goes long by Sawa. All right, Eala gets that break. 2-love. So she was a very solid junior, and seeing players that she played against back in the junior days doing well in the main draw, you know, in the WTA, has got to give her a little confidence of thinking, well, okay, well, I beat them in the juniors, so maybe I can also be amongst them. So, unfortunately, got to a career high while injured this year. Got to 100 in the world, while she was off the tour, injured. So didn't get to play in the US Open, which she would have got to play had she not have been injured. But gets to play the Australian Open main draw next year, which is great. She's only, I think, 22 years old. So not, you know, some players break out at 16. Some players, it takes a little longer, and they get to, you know, when they get to 22, 23, they start making a move. So maybe we might be watching a player next year that, as we saw last year with Eala and Chen, right? Another player from Southeast Asia might be able to make some waves next year. She's definitely got a very, like, aggressive. She's kind of, I'm trying to think of a player, kind of Palini energy, right? She's got that kind. She's short. I think she's a bit of a shorter player. She doesn't look like. She probably looks about 5'6", maybe. So probably around Palini height. Runs everything down. Very physical. As Eala double faults because of the sun in her eyes. Love 30. Yeah, very physical type of player she looks like. And she's got a lot of energy. She's very fired up. So, yeah, kind of like Palini. I think that's probably maybe a little bit I don't know if she hits the ball bigger, but she definitely has a Demonor vibe as well. If you want to say, compare it to what on the men's side, definitely that Demonor sort of like fast paced player, right? That fast, defensive type player. As Eala hits a great serve, 15-30. So we might be able to see it. Stearns, that's a good example. Yeah, like Stearns. Stearns is a good example. That's a great example. Like Stearns. 15-30. So yeah, could be a really dangerous player next year if she's healthy. As Eala hits a great serve down the tee. 30 all. 30 all. So yeah, definitely keep an eye on her in the draw for the Oz Open. All right, Eala trying to get to 3-love here. 30 all. As the backhand return goes the forehand of Eala. Forehand now from Sawa. As Eala backhand down the line. Sawa over the slice. As Eala with the forehand down the line again. Great shot. Sawa just defending. As Eala comes down with the backhand winner. 40-30. Eala just a little more aggressive and clean. Sawa's just having to defend. Will Alex join AO? Eala's playing, yeah. By the way, Delta, can you not put the scores in the chat? It's really annoying. All right, 40-30. This was supposed to be on tomorrow. Hey, Deb, it's the 18th, so happy birthday. In Australia, it's the 18th, so today's your birthday. Today's your Australian birthday as Sawa hits a winner as Deuce. Happy birthday to Deb. Everybody say happy birthday. Also in the UK as well, so like we're already been celebrating for hours. All right. Deuce. As Eala serves again. And serves a fault, second serve. By the way, yesterday Monfils took out Medvedev in the World Tennis League. If that matters. Anyways, forehand now goes into the backhand of Eala. Forehand now from Sawa. Again to the slice of Eala. Sawa hits a slice. Again to the backhand of Eala. Sawa backhand. No, Eala hit it long. All right. Advantage Sawangkaew to take the break back. Yeah, Delta, I've asked you already. Can you please stop doing it? All right. We've got a scoreboard. You don't have to bother putting scores in the chat. All right. Advantage Sawangkaew to get back on serve. Serve out wide to the backhand. But no, it was called was that called a fault? Late call. Second serve, Eala. She is serving into the sun for a lefty down the far end, so it's not easy. Second serve into the backhand of Sawa. Good return. Eala gets it back. Over the lovely inside-out backhand, and we're back to deuce. All right. I feel like I was nice. I feel like I asked nicely twice, right? It's the holidays. Come on. Come on. I feel like I was nice. All right. Back to deuce. As we return now to the forehand of Eala. Sawa backhand. Eala definitely the aggressor. But she hits it wide on the forehand as she goes inside out. And Sawa gets another break point to get back on serve. Advantage Sawangkaew. To get back on serve. As Eala serves again. Down the tee, great serve. Great serve, back to deuce. Nothing Sawangkaew could do there. That was all Eala. Deuce. Also, chat, we're almost at 200 likes. Appreciate that. Don't forget to like the video as well if you haven't already. We'll talk about Alcaraz. God, that hit me out of nowhere. It sounds, what I've been hearing, it sounds it sounds like they didn't want to split, but they did anyway. It's weird. Anyways, backhand down the line. The backhand of Eala as Sawangkaew goes cross-court with a forehand, but it's long. Advantage Eala. The Spanish reporters were correct. The reason the split is they couldn't come to contract terms. Juan Carlos couldn't have wanted them that much more money. Yeah, I have a... Like, if I had to guess... I don't think Juan Carlos likes Alcaraz playing exhibitions. Personally, I think that's definitely like. I reckon it's probably. It could be a contract thing. There's a forehand from Eala, but it's the first over the fault, second serve. It could be a contract, like, dispute. But I reckon Juan Carlos is thinking, like, if you want to be the greatest player of all time, you can't be playing Six King Slam. You can't be playing these exhibitions. Because Juan Carlos is like, that's what he believes Alcaraz could be, right? As we had a drop shot there from Eala. Too good, 3-love. All right. Sawa's been in this match, but she just hasn't got anything to show for it yet. 3-love. But that's just me guessing. Like, I have no idea. But the good thing is that both sides, but at least Alcaraz and Juan Carlos are cool, right? At least they're cool. Like, the way that they both respectfully wrote essays about the split at the same time, pretty much. They came out at the same time. At least that was... it seemed like they are on good terms, which is good, because it means Juan Carlos could come back. It didn't... And I was reading as well that... Again, this is why I didn't do a video about it, because it's all kind of like... It's more just fun to... Like, it's more of just a live stream kind of speculation, rather than having to go into, like, making an actual video about it, because it might not be true, right? We don't know the details of what went on, but we can talk about it here, and you guys might have heard something and correct me. But I heard that Alcaraz didn't want... Well, Juan Carlos, they both didn't seem like they wanted to split, but yeah, someone else in the team or some other reasons in the team were the reason why it didn't work. And they didn't split because they wanted to split. We're speculating. Yeah, we're just... Again, it's hard as well because, like when I make a video, I don't like to do speculation videos because we do that on live streams and it's more fun to have that conversation here than it is in a video. But when there's a statement from a player, or if there's an injury that, we're trying to, like, at least, tell you somebody's injured, we speculate about that a little bit. But, I don't like doing speculation on these sort of things when players have come out and said stuff, right? It's like, oh, we can just talk, what do they say, and then analyze what they say. If Juan Carlos hadn't said anything, I wouldn't have made a video about him responding, because he wouldn't have responded. You know what I mean? Yeah, but it's hard as well, because I've been burned before by using some sources from Spanish media. Unfortunately, I've made a video, the Carlos Moya thing this year was a classic case when there was like, Carlos Moya is going to coach Jannik Sinner. And it was like a whole thing and everybody was talking about it. And it came from like certain sources in Spain that it was coming from, and you're like, oh my God. And then it didn't happen. And you're like, oh. So I'm kind of a little bit, like, I call them all, I think they're all rumors before we hear them from the players, right? Love 15. Eala has already got 3-love. So all those things like his dad was having a fight with Juan Carlos and the managing of the career, I take that as speculation and rumors because neither of the people have said that who are involved. Great volley, Eala, love 30. But that's why we talk about it here, because it's like, well, Alright, love 30. And also the amount of stuff that comes out these days in media. I mean, remember when Swiatek was supposed to skip Wimbledon and split with Wim Fizet? Neither of those things happened. She won Wimbledon with Wim Fizet. I mean, like, remember that? Remember the French Open? She loses in the semis, and everyone's like, and then there was talk about her not playing the grass, and that Wim Fizet was on the way out. And then she played Wimbledon, won Wimbledon, Wim 5Z's been there ever since, and nobody's ever said anything else. Like, when that happens, you go, well, let's just relax. Let's just wait until we get more information, right? Let's wait until we hear something from either party. As we're the 30-0. Until Alcaraz gets interviewed by somebody about the situation and he goes into more detail, all of this stuff is just like somebody heard somebody else talk to somebody else, right? It's like, well, who knows, right? Unless it comes from Alcaraz's mouth or somebody from his team or somebody involved, it's like it's all just rumors, right? If she lost Wimbledon, Wim would have gone, probably. Had she lost like early in Wimbledon, for sure. As Eala hits that backhand wide and it's 40-30. But yeah, it's... Yeah. And look, Alcaraz fans are going to hate me to say it, but I think it's his... I'm going to wait until we get this game over. 40-30. I think his game's going to suffer. I think short term, he's going to struggle. 40-30. As Sawa serves the backhand of Eala. Forehand from Sawa. As Eala backhand cross court. Sawa's got it with the forehand down the line. Eala gets there with the cross court forehand. Sawa sliced. Into the forehand of Eala, who goes down the line and long. Sawa's on the board. It's a lot closer than the scoreboard, though, because Eala's had to fight for both service games. 3-1. Yeah, I got a bad feeling that Alcaraz's game is going to struggle. Because, not just because Juan Carlos is gone, but how much he relies on Juan Carlos for support during matches. Like, out of all the people, right? Out of all the players, him and Juan Carlos Ferrero are the chattiest during matches than out of everybody in the whole tour. Him and Tsitsipas and his dad were maybe a bit more chatty, but that's why the rule came in. Coaching is allowed. But I feel like Alcaraz and Juan Carlos are the two guys that talk the most during matches. He's not there now. Who's Alcaraz going to talk to? I know Juan Carlos wasn't there for every tournament, so it's not like he needs him there. He needed him there all year this year. There's been times when Alcaraz has won when Juan Carlos isn't even there. But in those moments when Alcaraz needs that reassurance, he needs that problem to be solved, it's been Juan Carlos who's been there in the big moments for the Grand Slams, right? Because he's been there for the Grand Slams. I think Juan Carlos wasn't there in Australia because of a knee problem this year, was it, or last year? Was it this year? I can't remember. And he wasn't there for like some parts of the tour this year, but like that is going to be interesting. Who is Alcaraz going to turn to for ideas when it comes to like when he's losing matches or when he doesn't have the answer in his head? Like, that's going to be really interesting to see how Alcaraz responds. Because a lot of criticism, and it shouldn't just be because of Alcaraz, it should be of all the players that get a lot of guidance. A lot of criticism for this coaching rule has been the lack of problem solving needed for those players. Alcaraz, unfortunately, being so good, a lot of people criticize, well, if Juan Carlos wasn't able to talk to him, would he be as good? Of course he would. But it's going to make it really interesting to see how Alcaraz has to problem solve himself, especially early next year. I know Samuel Lopez is there. It's not like he's coachless, but Lopez is not Juan Carlos Ferrero. Lopez, from what I've heard, is more of a fun, kind of keeping things light-hearted, whereas Juan Carlos, he's a rule, he's a stickler for the rules, right? He's a put your head down and work, stop mucking around. He's a bit more disciplinary, right? Whereas I've heard that Lopez is a little bit more of a, I think was it Andy Roddick who was talking about this? Maybe I watched his video on it. I think he was saying that Lopez is a bit more lighthearted and kind of came in as maybe a little bit more of a relief to the strict Juan Carlos. Juan Carlos is like, you want to be the best, you got to do this. Whereas maybe Samuel Lopez might not be as strict as Juan Carlos was, and not like putting Alcaraz back into line when he needs to be, when he needs to be, right? Because Alcaraz doesn't need to be like that all the time. So we'll see what... I think it'll be very, very tricky for Alcaraz to win Australian Open without Juan Carlos. In this like weird limbo. It's going to take some time. And remember, he's not playing any warm-ups. He's playing one exhibition. As Eala hits a lovely backhand win, it's 30-0. Like, Alcaraz is not playing Brisbane. He's not playing Adelaide. He's not playing Auckland. He's not playing any actual real tournaments. He's playing an exhibition in Korea, and then he's going to go play some practice matches in Australia. His first real match will be the Australian Open. So it's like, great, massive coach change, massive omission. Because remember, even when Alcaraz even when Juan Carlos wasn't there, he was still there on the phone. He won't be there at all. Like, he'll be gone. He's gone. As Eala hits a forehand down the line, but it's long. All right, 30-40. Another break chance. Another break chance for Sawangkaew to get back on serve. So yeah, I'm really keen to see how Alcaraz looks that first day in Melbourne. And it's not so much how he looks against the guys that he should beat. It's when he starts to get in trouble. When someone starts to push him and he has to solve a problem. That's what I want to see from Alcaraz, like how he does. Because those are the things that Juan Carlos usually is there for, right? When Alcaraz is like, I don't know what I'm doing. What do I do? Juan Carlos is the guy who gives the answer. He's not there anymore. That's going to be interesting. What's going to happen if Alcaraz is down 2-0 in the third round of Australian Open? How's he going to respond without Juan Carlos there to guide him? As the backhand goes wide from Sawa, and it's deuce. And if he can do that, if he can get through those moments, just get some other coach. Doesn't matter. You don't even need, just keep Lopez. You don't even need anybody else. If Alcaraz has learnt, like, it'll be a great test for Alcaraz to see how much Juan Carlos has like instilled in him to get through those moments on his own without Juan Carlos there. Like, that will be the true test. If Alcaraz loses third round because he couldn't problem solve someone like a Norrie, that would be awkward. That would be an awkward conversation after the Australian Open. But if he does well in Australia without Juan Carlos and he gets tested and he passes the test on his own problem solving, that's huge for Alcaraz. That will change all these conversations you'll be hearing over the next couple of weeks of if Alcaraz is lost without Juan Carlos. If he can get to like the semi-finals, and yeah, okay, if he loses to like a Djokovic or a Zverev like he has in the past, okay, you know, that might, you know, that's okay. I wouldn't be that mad at Alcaraz for that. But if Alcaraz is able to do well in Australia without Juan Carlos and do it like when he gets tested, pass the test, that's a scary Alcaraz. That's a scary man. Advantage Eala. As she hits a forehand cross court. Sawa slice goes in. Eala the backhand winner. There's a 4-1 lead. Eala in every service game has had to save break points. So Sawa she could have been up 4-1. But Eala has held strong. By the way, thank you, Henry, for the $5. Appreciate that. All right. Eala 4-1, first set. All right. And even if his coach gives him advice, does Carlos listen to the advice while on court? Well, we don't know how much. We know that Juan Carlos and Alcaraz talk a lot when they talk a lot, right? We see them converse a lot on court. The difference is, and Andy Roddick said this. Hearing going to Juan Carlos Ferreira and getting advice from a guy who's been number one in the world, probably going to be Hall of Fame at some point, and has a Grand Slam, if that guy's telling you what to do, you're going to listen. If there's a guy that's never won a Grand Slam and never been a top player telling you what to do, that might be a little bit tougher for some players to take seriously, right? I mean, the opposite's true too. Sometimes guys like Lendl can't work with a guy like Zverev, and, you know, that communication doesn't work. Or there's times where, you know, players like Darren Cahill can coach a guy like Jannik Sinner, even though their resume on paper by results in their careers is nothing the same, because Darren Cahill was not Jannik Sinner, right? He was not a Grand Slam champion. He was not number one in the world. But it works well because there's that, you know, the communication works and there's that respect, right? So it's going to be interesting to see if Alcaraz will listen to the advice he's going to get from his coaches when Juan Carlos was the voice for his whole career. You know, I mean, Juan Carlos has been there since before Alcaraz was anyone, right? I mean, they said they worked together for 7 years. Alcaraz was like 15 when they got together. You know, we heard of Alcaraz maybe back then, but he's been working together from like the literal start, right? So now not having him, like even on the phone, is going to be a massive difference. Vignosi is the real coach? Well, maybe. But Lopez, you can't say Lopez is the real coach for Alcaraz because it was Juan Carlos. Lopez has come in recently to... Juan Carlos made Alcaraz. But can Alcaraz take what he's learned from Juan Carlos and go on and do it himself without... that's going to be the interesting thing as we get to 30 love. And I think some Alcaraz fans are like, this is okay. Some people are like super sad about it, and I get that. But I think it's almost like... It might not be the worst thing ever, unless Alcaraz has a terrible year and like doesn't win a slam next year, and drops down the rankings a little bit and gets to drops to number 3 or like maybe 4 or 5. That in 12 months' time, we'll see whether or not it was a big deal. But we'll see. If Alcaraz starts losing matches that he shouldn't, that's interesting. As that goes wide by Sawa, and it's 30-15. But it also could be a good thing, because it could be a necessary change. A new voice. Not that Alcaraz needs to get better, because we saw at the US Open, that guy doesn't lose to anybody. If US Open Alcaraz shows up any day, no one beats him. Ever. No one. No one will beat him. We just got to see whether or not somebody else can bring that guy back. Right, and bring that guy to the matches. Is Samuel Lopez the guy that can bring that out of Alcaraz? Maybe it is. All right, 30-15. As we're backhand now from Sawa, she's trying to just keep it close. As we're slice now into the front of Eala. Down the line from Eala is good. Sawa in the net, 30-0. Again, Sawa has been closer than this score suggests. All right, 30-0. We've seen the best players change their coaches throughout their careers. Murray, Djokovic, Sinner. Yeah. Yeah. I know I've heard that example a lot, and I'm like, the Sinner situation was different. 30-0. Is it a backhand passing shot in the net from Sawa? That would have been a great shot, but she just couldn't get it over 30-40. But how many of those guys have changed their coaches at the height of their career? Because right now, Alcaraz is probably at his peak right now. He's definitely going to go better, and he's going to be better in the future, and he's going to do more. But right now, you would say is probably peak Alcaraz, at least in terms of this is his best year ever. He played the best tennis we've ever seen him play for a whole tournament in the US Open this year. This has been peak Alcaraz. And then to make a change like that, usually if guys like Sinner made a change to Cahill and Vignosi when he wasn't doing as well as he thought he should. So he cleaned house, right? He got rid of all the coaches. He brought in a whole bunch of new people. Marion Vita went to Goran. Yeah, but you got to remember also that Goran was there for a lot of it. I know Lopez has as well, so maybe it will be similar. We'll have to wait and see. As that goes long from Sawa and it's advantage Eala. Probably a better example is Roger, right? Federer didn't have a coach when he was on a peaking, and then he would get coaches here and there. He'd get Edberg for a little bit, and then he'd get Tony Roach for a bit, and then he'd get Ljubicic. Federer was probably the guy, but then Federer was... The thing is, can Alcaraz coach himself? That's what we'll find out in the next couple of months. Because Juan Carlos was steering the ship, and now Samuel Lopez can try and steer it, but I think Alcaraz is going to have to almost be self-coaching. As Eala hits a return winner, and it's 5-1. I think that'll be the Roger. I think Roger in 05, 06, his best, arguably his best career years. didn't have a coach, right? Didn't have a coach. He coached himself. You know, Djokovic with Goran, we always made jokes that, like, Djokovic didn't need Goran. Goran just sat there and he was a punching bag, and, you know, and we're just kidding, because obviously he's got Grand Slam. He knows what he's doing. But, like, Djokovic can coach himself, right? He doesn't really need someone to guide him. He's done everything. He knows he's got it himself. Can Alcaraz do that, though? That's what we're going to find out. And if he can't do that, he'll just get someone. Like, everybody wants to coach Alcaraz. Everybody will put their hand up to coach Alcaraz. There's no, like, he could have any coach he wants, maybe except for Darren Cahill. He could pick any coach he wants. And everyone's going to drop to play. I mean, come on. Like, you'd be silly to say no to Alcaraz, right? It'd be crazy. Unless you're like, maybe like, because people are saying Agassi. Agassi's not going to travel. So I don't think Agassi's going to be a full-time coach. As Eala gets 15 love. Like, I don't think we're not going to see Agassi traveling coach. I think if Alcaraz is going to get a coach, if he needs a coach, it's probably going to have to be someone who's there day to day, week to week, at least on at least a weekly basis, right? Agassi's not traveling the world. As much as we would love to see it, he'd probably be there for, like, the French, maybe, or maybe be there for Wimbledon. Like, he could be he could be like a mentor, right? For Carlos. He could be like, Agassi has coached some players, but he hasn't been, like, he coached Novak for like a couple of months, right? You know? I don't think, I would be so shocked if Agassi was like, yeah, I'm going to coach Alcaraz, and he's there all the time. I highly doubt it. 30 love. Even though we'd love to see it. As the return goes into the back end of Eala. Slice from Sawa. As Eala backhand cross court. Sawa gets with a forehand. Bit loopy, and Eala attacks it and hits it in the net. 30-15. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he could be there for the slams if Carlos needs it, right? I would not be surprised, actually. I would not be surprised if Agassi's in Australia. I mean, Roger's in Australia. Does Carlos call Roger for the 2 weeks in Melbourne? Roger's in Australia. Why not just, like, team up with him and get him to help out for a couple weeks? But I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Agassi work with Alcaraz in Australia or in US, right? The US. You know, I could see that happening. You know, on a 1 month basis, right? Not on a permanent contract, but just on hey, I'll come help you for a couple of weeks. As that goes wide by Sawa on the forehand, and we got set points for Eala, 40-15. This has been a lot closer than the score. 6-1, if this is the score, is not accurate, because Sawa has been, besides this game, has been up a break point on every service game for Eala, of Eala. Okay, 40-15. Vicharovsky wouldn't coach and look. Agassi could make an exception. Yeah, but Vicharovsky said that he wasn't going to coach, and then did a 180 and started coaching Osaka. Vicharovsky also is not Agassi. Agassi doesn't need to coach. Vicharovsky might be like, if he goes back to Poland, he might be a head coach in an academy, but he is a career coach. That's his job. Agassi's not a coach. He's not like a traveling coach. That's not how he's made his living, right? Agassi doesn't need that. That goes cross court for a winner from Sawa, 40-30. Henry.
Go Team PH. Greetings from Texas.
Hey, what's going on from Texas? No, I don't think Agassi's going to coach Carlos full time. They'll work together on a short-term basis, maybe, like a tournament basis. But I would be very pleasant. I'm happy to be wrong. If Agassi's like, I'm going to coach Carlos Alcaraz for 12 months, I will be so happy. But I'm not getting my hopes up because that sounds impossible. Forehand now sounds improbable. As that forehand from Sawa is a winner. Okay, we get to deuce. Another service game that Eala's had to struggle on. Goran? Well, I don't know what Goran would bring, though. Goran to coach Alcaraz? I don't know. I don't. You know what? I want Lendl to coach Alcaraz. No, because Lendl, I don't know if they'd mesh. Maybe not. I don't know what Alcaraz needs, though. What kind of coach does he need? Hey, Jess, congrats. So when the video review breaks, we know who to point at. I'm just kidding. That's so cool. Have fun with that. Good luck with it as well. That's fun. Why not Goran to help serve? I don't know if he needs help with the serve. He serves pretty damn good. I think the only thing Alcaraz needs help with is to stay concentrated during matches. That's the only issue he has. And when I say issue, it's like it doesn't affect him every day, but sometimes it does. As Eala hits a backhand winner, it's advantage. Like, Alcaraz's only issue is when he isn't playing well and he gets like the Norrie match in Paris when he was playing badly and he just was getting pissed off. Very rare that happens. Or when he gets a little silly with how he's playing and he plays a little he gets a little too crazy, right? And he doesn't play disciplined. He doesn't play percentage shots. He tries to go for extravagant winners and doesn't really play the smart, boring tennis that other players play. Djokovic and Sinner play, right? As that goes out by Sawa, there's the first set for Eala, 6-1. It was a lot closer than that, though. Don't get confused. That was not an easy 6-1. Eala worked for that. And when I say boring tennis, I'm not saying those players are boring to watch. I'm just saying the predictable, what's the word? Percentages, right? They don't play risky tennis. They go, deep cross court, and down the line when they get an opportunity. They play patient tennis, right? Djokovic and Sinner. Alcaraz is a little bit more I'm going to hit the highlight shot because I can, right? And he can. And that's where he needs someone that's going to let him play those shots, but also when he needs it to reel it back in, right? And to lock it in. If he gets somebody who's going to encourage him to just play crazy, he's going to play a lot more tennis, a lot more matches where he hits 50 errors. Because he needs, Juan Carlos, that's where Juan Carlos was yeah, good shot, but also settle down. We need to lock in here. Let's not get silly. That's why Juan Carlos was so good for Alcaraz. Who's going to, I don't know who we would get that's going to be able to try and, calm him down when he's getting a little overexcited, right? Because if Alcaraz starts playing highlight tennis all the time and he makes errors, he's going to play terrible tennis, and we don't want that. We want Alcaraz to play great tennis, but he also needs that bit of discipline that Sinner has, right? But who's it going to be? Because Juan Carlos was the man that, he was the man that did that. He was the guy. That's why they work so well. That's why this is such a big change. Is Samuel Lopez going to be able to, is he going to be able to get Alcaraz to lock in when he needs to, right? Just don't do an Alcaraz stream, and I'm sorry, but not really. 6-1 Eala. First set, by the way, Eala in every game had to play deuce on serve. So 4 games, all 4 games, she clutched out the serve. She could have gone down in that set, but she was clutch in the 4 games. So that is exactly what she needed to do. She clutched it. What about Patrick Mouratoglou? Maybe. I don't know. I'm kind of I can't. You know what? I don't want to see Alcaraz get a coach straight away. I kind of want to see Alcaraz do it himself for a bit with Samuel Lopez. Because again, maybe Lopez is the man. Maybe he's the guy that's going to sit in that seat and fill the seat. And we don't need and Alcaraz can problem solve and Samuel Lopez can lock him down when he needs to. I don't really want to see Alcaraz get a coach next week. I want to see him play a couple of months without getting a coach, without having a Juan Carlos sitting next to him, just to see how he does. Because he might not need somebody else. He might not. His team might be exactly what he needs, with or without Juan Carlos. Maybe no coach is the way to go. Yeah, but it's not because I want to see him. It's not because I think that he's not going to. Like, he's just going to be like, oh, well, he doesn't need a coach anyway. I mean, he's definitely complete, but it's the problem solving that has always been a criticism for people against Alcaraz, right? It's been like, well, if Juan Carlos wasn't yapping the whole time, maybe he wouldn't be as good. You know, can he do it himself? He gets an opportunity to prove that now, right? He gets an opportunity to prove that. I don't think he's as reliant on the Juan Carlos as you're making it sound. I think in big moments it does make a difference. And I think, I mean, again, they are the two of the chattiest player coaches going around. I mean, Ben Shelton and his dad chat a lot as well. Tsitsipas is obviously the reason the rule changed. One of the reasons the rule changed for coaching. But I want to see Alcaraz without that constant feedback from Juan Carlos, who after every point would give feedback. I'm exaggerating, not every point, but he would give a lot of feedback. How's Alcaraz going to do it without him is a good opportunity to see how that is and how that's going to look. And look, if Alcaraz doesn't play great in Australia, which he hasn't done well usually anyway, so that's fine. There's no pressure there. He doesn't need to win the Australian Open to prove anything. If he loses in the quarters, so be it. Haters are going to hate, but if Alcaraz kind of has a free run. Like, if you're not going to have a coach right now for your Alcaraz, this is the perfect time. It's never a perfect time. You know what I mean? It's like the perfect time for him to like test out not having Juan Carlos there, or on the at all, right? Because if he doesn't do well in Australia, doesn't matter. He hasn't done well there before. February is always sketchy. Doesn't matter if he does well or not there. Indian Wells and Miami. If he doesn't do well in Indian Wells, that's depends on what that means. If he loses in the second round, maybe then you start thinking, okay, maybe we should get someone in. So it's kind of just like, let's just see how he does without Juan Carlos. Give him 3 months, and then by the time we hit the clay, if his results have been bad by our standards of him or our expectations, or his expectations of himself, like if we get to April and he hasn't won a title, that's a problem, and maybe he should get somebody else in. But wait until the clay. Don't replace Juan Carlos. Keep Samuel Lopez and try and do it yourself for a couple of months. February is not a risk. There's no big tournaments in February anyway. Rotterdam, he's got points to defend, but who cares? Like, it doesn't matter if he doesn't win everything he did last year. And Australian Open is Sinner's to lose, not Alcaraz. Alcaraz is just trying to win it. But it doesn't matter if he doesn't. So that's what I would be doing if I was him. I'd be like, okay, we don't have Juan Carlos. Let's not... He doesn't need to hire someone tomorrow. Test himself out for a couple of months. And by the clay court season, let's see how he looks and whether or not he needs to get somebody else in, or if he can just keep doing what he's doing. So it's a good idea. It's not the worst. Again, I'm very optimistic. This is actually probably not the worst thing for him. This might actually be an interesting turning point for Alcaraz and a good test. And yeah, look, he might lose the number one ranking in the next 3 months. That could happen, right? But it's also doesn't feel like it feels like Sinner's going to get to number one possibly anyway, even if Alcaraz had Juan Carlos, and because Sinner's just got too many points left on the table, right? He's on the hard courts. He's got Indian Wells, Miami. Possibly he could win one or two of those, right? I mean, there's just so much. There's so much upside for Sinner in the first 4 months of the year, that Alcaraz is always going to be up against it. So Alcaraz might start the clay at number 2, and that's okay. But I think by the clay court season, he needs to know whether or not he needs to replace Juan Carlos. But until then, he can kind of play for free a little bit, because there's not I think Sinner's going to be the favorite to win most of the tournaments going into the clay, right? For the first 3 months, he'll be the favorite in Australia, who might be the favorite in Miami. Indian Wells might be 50-50. Doha or whatever he plays in February, Sinner will probably be the favorite on a hard court. So Alcaraz can kind of just like work it out on his own, without having the pressure. If the clay court season started and this had happened, that would be alarm bells because he's got so many points on the clay. Anyways, love 30. Sorry, Eala fans. We're just yapping about Carlos because that was big news yesterday. Such a surprise. In a quiet off-season, that was the biggest thing that's happened. Anyways, love 40. Chance for Eala to get the break straight away. It's exciting, low-key. Yeah, I agree. I think if you're an Alcaraz fan, it definitely sucks, but it's also a great. It's almost like a great opportunity as we get a break for Eala. The first game of the second, one love. I know that. I mean, Alcaraz fans also know that if Alcaraz loses in the first week of the Australian Open, all the haters are going to say the predictable thing. They're all going to go, he's nothing without Juan Carlos, right? Juan Carlos made him, blah, 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 blah. Okay, and that's going to come because, it's predictable. Haters are predictable. They say the obvious thing. Just ignore that BS because Alcaraz is not going to win one tournament. Like, he doesn't win every event. So him losing one tournament, who cares? Especially a tournament he's not won before. But it will be really interesting to see Alcaraz with a couple of tournaments under his belt without Juan Carlos, how he responds to that. Like how he responds to those pressure moments where Juan Carlos has been there for guidance. He won't be anymore, at least not for now. So it's gonna be a good opportunity for Alcaraz to grow, and it might not be instant results, and and that's but it's probably not the worst thing. Like him trying to figure it out without Juan Carlos is going to help his tennis. And might take him to another level, which is scary because if he goes to another level, then no one's going to beat him. No one's going to go near him. 15 love. He does want the AO title? Of course he does. But I also don't think I don't think the pressure is on him to win it as much as the pressure is on Sinner. Like, if it was Roland Garros, that would be and Juan Carlos had just left, that would be crazy. That would be so scary for Alcaraz. But because it's Australia, it's like, oh, well, that's the only tournament he hasn't won. He hasn't done particularly well there. Like, he hasn't made a semi-final yet. So it's like, well, okay. If he loses, and the good thing is as well, if Alcaraz does lose early in Australia, or at least like he doesn't make the final, the Alcaraz fans can take a little bit of comfort that, well, he just lost his 7-year coach, right? He just lost his mentor, and now he's going to try and win a Grand Slam. Who can do that? That's hard. How do you do that? You've just lost the guy that's guided your whole career up until now, and now you've got to go and win a Grand Slam. Like if Alcaraz does it, that'd be a crazy effort. But it's almost like okay. Tell Jannik Sinner and Darren Cahill to stop working together and then see if Sinner wins the next tournament he plays. Like, that's... Like, the expectation is insane. So if Alcaraz fans I wouldn't be... if he doesn't win the Australian Open, the haters are going to hate, but... I mean, look at realistically, I mean, shit, he just lost his coach. How's he... now you got to go win the Australian Open, complete the career Grand Slam, which is one of the hardest things to do in tennis. All while playing a guy who has won the last 2 Australian Opens in conditions that are super, super hot. Everybody else is fresh. Like everyone's starting hopefully on a fresh physical basis. Like, yeah, good luck. If Alcaraz wins the Australian Open, it would be insane. It would be super impressive. Especially if he beats Sinner to do it. Without Juan Carlos, that would just be like insanity. All right, 40-15. Sawa hits a lovely forehand inside-out winner, 40-30. 40-30. Alcaraz doesn't need to win the AO. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's Sinner's to lose. Sinner has to win the Australian Open. He's the one that's... The pressure's on him. 40-30. Serving to the forehand of Sawa. Return goes in the backhand of Eala. Sawa forehand down the line. Eala gets with the forehand back into the forehand of Sawa. As Eala backhand into the net. We get the deuce. Again, Eala having no easy service games today. Every service game has been deuce. He does need it to win, though. Need that career slam. Eala, you are one of those fans that are just like... Are you a fan of Alcaraz? Because you're putting a lot of pressure on him. I love Alcaraz, but I also want... expect him to do the impossible. Poor guy.
Go for seed gold, Alex. TNX cams for Alex cover again.
No worries. Thank you, Pia, for the donation. All right, back to deuce. As Eala with a forehand, backhand cross court. Forehand now from Sawa to the forehand of Eala. Eala smokes it down the line for a winner. Advantage, Eala. Yeah. All right. Advantage, Eala to go to 2-love. But yeah, me going to the Australian Open, watching Alcaraz now, I'm like, depending on his draw, I'm going to be very forgiving of Alcaraz. If he loses to a player that's very tricky in the first week, I'm not going to be mad at that. Great slice from Sawa. I'm back to deuce. If Alcaraz loses to somebody who's if he loses to the number 19 or 13 in the world or whatever in the third round or fourth round, considering what just happened yesterday, I'm not mad at that. If he loses his first tournament without his childhood coach, 15 is still a kid, right? I mean, 15 or whatever. When was it? How old is he? 14, 13, whatever. Either way, the guy that you've asked for help for your entire career, pretty much. If he's not there for the first, and you don't win a Grand Slam for the first time, he's not there. So be it. As Eala hits it out, advantage Sawa to get back on serve straight away. Yeah, for me, I think the first test for Alcaraz in a post-Juan Carlos coaching world is Indian Wells. Because that's a tournament that he's done well at consistently in the past. Australian Open, whatever he plays in February, Rotterdam, Doha, whatever, I don't expect him to win any of those. They're all sinners to lose if he plays. But if Alcaraz goes to the Indian Wells, that's going to be the first tournament, I think. Without Juan Carlos, that's going to be the first one that people are probably expecting Alcaraz to win. Because out of the first, I mean, everything else is sinners to lose. Indian Wells is sort of Alcaraz's thing. That's been his thing. As that goes out by Eala, okay. Sawa gets back the break. 1-1. Indian Wells and Monte Carlo are key, yeah. And I think if things aren't working out if he loses in Miami and his results have not been up to his par, I'm sure he'll get somebody in by then. By the way, what the hell just happened? Sawa broke. What happened? She broke and then she didn't. Did they replay the point because someone made a mistake? All right, what happened with Ferrero? I made videos. Go watch it. All right, Eala with a forehand. That goes. All right, now Sawa breaks. All right, I was just 1 point ahead. I'm just, whatever. Anyways, now it's 1-1. Oh, shit. England went down again. Green got out Brooke. Oh, no. Oh, no. The Ashes are coming home tomorrow. All right, 1-1. Again, that first set's a little deceiving because it looks like it was easy. it was more... That first set score was more Eala being clutch than it was dominating. You know what I mean? Like, Eala was clutching out that first set. That was a clutch set of serving for her in tough moments. Oh, pardon me. All right. By the way, Eala is not happy with the call. Is she angry at the crowd or is she angry at the call?
Yo, Alex, from the Eala families in Igbaras, Alolo.
Hey, thank you, Dis.
All PLS support come.
Thank you,
Best
Dis.
tennis live feed ever.
And thank you, Henry, as well, for the donations. Appreciate it. All right. I'm not sure if Eala was upset with the... call, or she was upset with the crowd noise, because the crowd are getting pretty rowdy. There's a forehand from Eala down the line. Great shot. Sawa gets back with a slice. Eala hits it in the net. I think it's 40 love. I'm just waiting for the score to appear. But yeah, Sawa has been competitive, even though she's got nothing to show for it on the score. All right, it's only 15 love. Okay, well, why did I think it was 40 love? Because I'm not paying attention. All right. There's Sawa double faults, 15 all. All right, as Eala hits a return winner, 15-30. And we default second serve. As a bit of backhand from Sawa, sliced into the front of Eala. Sawa backhand pass. Just goes wide, 15-40.
Yo, Alex, thanks, Cam. Pin life from Toronto.
Hey, thank you, Kit, for the donation. Appreciate it. All right. As Eala looks to break again. $15.40. Serve in the back end of Eala. Return goes in. Sawa comes in with a forehand. Drive. Volley. Eala gets it back with a lob. Bounce smash from Sawa. There's a winner. That's a tough smash. She made it look easy. 30-40. 30-40. Still break point for Eala. All right, 30-40. 30-40. Oh, pardon me. By the way, chat. After this, I've got to... In about an hour, I've got to run. So hopefully this match doesn't go too far. Eala, I think, hit it long. No. She hit it in. And Sawa... Wait, no. Eala's talking to the umpire. What's going on? Did the umpire overrule again? I think Eala's either telling the umpire... So we get a first serve here, 30-40. So it was an overrule by the lines person because the lines people are getting it wrong. The umpire's having to get... I think the umpire's having to get the do the line calls from the chair. Great shot, Sawa. We're back to deuce. Hey, Azza, thank you for the 42 months. Merry Christmas to you too. Yeah, I think what's going on is that the umpires overruled a lot of the calls. A few calls already in this match, and Eala's kind of like, why do they keep making mistakes? Because there's no Hawkeye at this event, and there are traditional lines people. So I think that's what it is. I think the lines, and she gets it, and Eala was playing well in that point. She would have won that point had it not been overruled. Good return from Eala. She comes in with a drive volley. Sawa puts up a lob, but it's too short. And Eala puts away the smash. Advantage Eala to get the break in the second. Alex for the win. Nice. Well, she is winning right now. Right, advantage Eala. As Sawa serves the backhand of Eala. Sawa forehand. As Eala hits the backhand of the forehand of Sawa down the line and wide. There's the break for Eala. 2-1. And that missed opportunity for Sawa because she's been in this match and she's been on, like, especially on the returns. She has been in pretty much in every game, but she just can't keep hold of her own serve, which has been an issue. All right. By the way, let me know in the chat where you're watching from. I haven't asked that today or this month. Where are you watching from? I'm in Australia. It's currently 38 degrees. No, 36. Oh, it's cold. It's gotten cold. It was 38 about an hour ago. It's currently, it feels like 38. It's currently 34. Oh, temperature's going down. Lovely. All right. We've got Canada, Houston, Singapore, Dubai, Oregon, New South Wales, Singapore. We've got Malaysia in the house. Don't you use Celsius in Australia? That's what it's 30. It's 38 degrees Celsius. UAE, Philippines, Hong Kong, New York, Saudi Arabia, Philippines. Love to see it. Sydney's 37. Yeah, apparently in Adelaide it's 37 as well. So it's like just stinking hot. We got Montreal in the house. All right. Eala was setting a break again. She serves a fault. Second serve. We got the UK. We got Japan, Texas in the house. On a plane to Australia. You're listening to us on the plane? That's crazy. Every plane I get, the Wi-Fi doesn't work. As with a volley now from Eala. Passing shot from Sawa, but Eala volleys it back. Sawa with a slice cross court. Eala picks it up. Then Sawa with a volley, but Eala gets it and, overhits it on her volley. That would have been a crazy rally for Eala to win. Love 15. It's because I go on the cheap planes that don't have Wi-Fi. Like, I pick the cheapest flights, and then I get there, and they don't have a screen on the front. Like, there's no screen, and then they're like, just log into the Wi-Fi. Oh, the Wi-Fi doesn't work on this flight. So you're just sitting there, and 6 hours, you're just sitting there doing nothing. No in-flight entertainment for you. I love 15. Personal Wi-Fi? Can you use that on the plane? We got Vegas and Taiwan and in the house as well. Finland? What's the temperature in Finland? Must be freezing. Must be like at least -7. Riyadh, what's up? Download movies? Yeah, that's what I did. I downloaded movies. I watched Stranger Things on the way to Indonesia. And then on the way back, I watched Uncle Buck and Orange County. 2 funny movies. I love 15. Also, when I was on the plane, I don't know if I can show it. There was this crazy storm. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, this is what was happening on the plane. Like, that's out the window of the plane. Next to me was like this crazy storm. Look at that. That was like looking out the window of the plane. That's what I saw. No, you can't really see it. You can't really see it because of that stupid thing. Can you see it? Look at that. I didn't even do it justice. It was crazy. You can't even see it. It looks better on the phone. It looked crazy in real life. It was like this hectic storm just like passing us by. It was mad. 15-0. It was cool though. We didn't go through it luckily, but it was just like we went around it. It was crazy. All right, Eala, good hitting. 30-15. Watching from Mozambique. Hey, what's up? All right, 30-15. Zeus throwing thunderbolts. Yeah, it definitely did have a vibe. As the return goes into the forehand of Eala. Drop shot. Is no good. Sawa comes to the net. Slice Eala goes into the net. 30-0. And again, Eala just having a tough time on serve. No easy games. Reminds me of the TV show Manifest. Yeah, I don't know what that is, but it was pretty hectic. It was so cool, though. It was so cool to see from a distance. If we flew through it, I would have cried. But flying by it, it was lovely. It was so hectic. As the return goes into the backhand of Eala, but Eala hits it long. 30-40. Another game, another break point against Eala on her serve. Right. 30-40. As it serve into the backhand of Sawa. Forehand from Eala. Into the slice of Sawa. Eala in control. Forehand goes down the line, but it's wide. Break back. 4 breaks to start the second. Also, I got these as well. From the airport. We don't have these here. Like tennis ball gum. They look like they look all furry and stuff. It's just gum though. Not a sponsor, but it's just gum. It's crazy. Little tennis ball gum. We don't have that here. There was over there though. Alright, 2-0. It tastes good. It's got like raspberry in the middle. Cam literally breathes tennis. Exactly. All right. 15-love. Eala overhits the shot, and then we get a shank from Sawangkaew, and it's 15-0. Now, Sawangkaew has not been in front in this entire match. She needs to hold. 15-0. As we get a fault second serve. She has not been at all, like she is broken a lot, but she has not been in front. As Eala hits a return winner and her serve is getting pummeled. 15-30. $15-30 as Sawa serves a fault, second serve. As with a forehand in the net from Sawa, and it's 15-40. Just can't get in front. Cannot get in front. 15-40. By the way, yesterday, Chad, I watched 2 Christmas movies. Scrooged and Surviving Christmas. Never heard of Surviving Christmas before, and I found it at the thrift store and I bought it. Actually, not a bad movie. It's pretty good. Pretty good Christmas, like one of those just silly 2000s kind of Christmas movies. Very predictable story, but also, it's kind of funny. Double fault for Sawa. All right. Eala gets the break again. 5 breaks in a row for this in this set. Have I watched Avatar yet? No. I haven't even seen the second one. Avatar's not really I'm not really into Avatar. I watched the first one back in the day when it came out, but I haven't seen the second and I haven't watched the third. I went and saw Running Man, though. That was good. Running Man was pretty good. I'm trying to find the original with Arnold, but to watch on, because the original came out in the 90s, 80s. But, yeah. Christmas cam activated. Yeah, I've been doing Christmas since October. I've had my tree up since November. Early November. All right. 3-2 Eala. The original's on Netflix. I don't have Netflix. I don't have Netflix. Unfortunately, I don't. I only have Netflix when I need it. Otherwise, I get a DVD. I'm a hipster. All right. I'm just going to buy for $1 on a DVD, all right? And then I can watch it 100 times forever for the rest of my life. Cam, you have a skull instead of a star on your tree. Yes. That's because this is my Halloween tree. I kept it up. My main in my living area, my Christmas tree is a normal Christmas tree. This is my Halloween tree that I just never changed. The skull is a Halloween tree. 15 love. Yeah, Halloween tree. That's a thing. All right, Eala serves. Into the back into Sawa. Forehand from Eala down the line. Sawa gets back with a forehand cross court. Eala backhand. Into the forehand of Sawa. As Eala backhand goes down the line. And it hits the line for a winner. 30 love. Eala has not had an easy time on serve for the entirety of this match so far. But let's see if that changes. All right, return goes into the forehand of Eala. Back in now from Sawa, but Eala's there at the net with the volley. Puts it away. 40 love. Easiest game so far. Love. As Eala serves a fault. Second serve. Is a double fault. 40-15. 40-15. And then you check out Jota. He is baby Alcaraz. Really? All right. As we just serve to the backhand of Sawa. In comes Sawa now with a forehand, but overhits it. 4-2. easiest game of the day on serve for either player. Eala's 4-2 up in the second. 2 games away from the gold. All right, 4-2. All right, back to Sawa. Must-win game if she's going to make any sort of a comeback here. Could Alcaraz and Juan Carlos split be about money? I gotta be real. It could be, but I feel like it's a little bit weird that Juan Carlos and Carlos Alcaraz would split because Juan Carlos wasn't getting paid enough. That doesn't seem... I don't think Juan Carlos would walk away, or they would walk away from each other because of money. Because I think Juan Carlos would probably sacrifice a bit of a paycheck because of the legacy. I reckon I'm guessing it's something to do with scheduling. I don't think it's about money. Not for Juan Carlos Ferrero. I don't think he necessarily needs the money, but also I think he probably would realize as well, if I don't get paid as much, but working with Alcaraz is worth it. I reckon, again, we don't know. This is all just like speculation until we hear from them. But I think I'm guessing that Juan Carlos wants Alcaraz to do like a certain schedule, and then some other people in the team might not have agreed with that. As Eala dominating here, love 40. If it was about money, then that would be a silly reason for them to split, especially when both seem to want to be around each other. Also, I think Alcaraz would be silly to be like, oh yeah, I'm not going to pay you what you want, because I think he needs him just as much as Juan Carlos needs Alcaraz. I think there's such a good combo that it wouldn't be because of money. Money. If it was because of money, that would be such a silly reason for them to split. I think it's more likely to do with Juan Carlos wanting something out of Alcaraz and maybe Alcaraz's team not agreeing, as that goes out by Eala, 15-40. Because it's not Alcaraz who said... Apparently Alcaraz wanted him to stay, so it's not that Alcaraz was like, no, I'm not doing that, and then Juan Carlos was like, well, I'm not working with you. I think it's... Yeah. I think... it would be such a shame if it was because neither of them could agree for a paycheck. That would be so silly that they wouldn't work together for that reason. That seems like such a silly reason for them to split. Because Juan Carlos, like I said, they need each other as much as they need. Juan Carlos knows that Alcaraz is the generational player, and Alcaraz knows that Juan Carlos is been there from the start, so why would you want to get rid of that guy to save a couple of bucks? That seems silly. So hopefully it's not that, because I think Ferrero didn't like the way that Alcaraz plays exhibitions all the time. Yeah, that's probably more realistic. All right, still break point for Eala, 30-40. Sawa with a forehand to the backhand of Eala on the stretch. Sawa forehand to the line. Eala gets it back. Now Sawa's in trouble. Eala's back in the rally. Another backhand to the forehand of Sawa. Sliced into the forehand of Eala, who sliced it back. Sawa pass. It's too good. All right. Sawa survives deuce. Yeah. If I had to guess why they split, with all the information, if we talk about the rumors that are going on at the moment that we don't know yet, if Juan Carlos and Alcaraz's dad were disagreeing with each other and that's why they split, I reckon it would be because of scheduling. I think Juan Carlos would have been like, okay, we can't do exhibitions next year. Let's get rid of those because those don't matter. Winning the Six King Slam should not be a priority. playing a South Korean exhibition before the Australian Open should not be what we do. We should be focusing on Grand Slams and warming up for those tournaments. Everything else should be irrelevant, and we shouldn't be risking playing an exhibition at the cost of a slam. That sounds exactly like Juan Carlos, what Juan Carlos would want. But, as we get a drop shot from Eala, and it's advantage Eala. But, on the other side of things, whoever, if it's Alcaraz's dad or whoever in the team disagrees, it would be because if Alcaraz plays that strict schedule and doesn't have fun, it could ruin his tennis, right? If Alcaraz doesn't have those moments where he can go relax or go and play exhibitions and have a bit of fun with things, and he has to just work all the time, then Alcaraz is going to burn out and not want to play, and that would not be good for anybody. So, I mean, that feels like that's what the disagreement would have been, if you had to guess, right? Forehand out of the backhand slice of Sawa. Still break point for Eala. She hit the forehand in the forehand of Sawa. Eala with the backhand on the stretch. Sawa gets it back, but hits it in the net. Eala breaks. Now, I'll tell you this. The scoreline says that Eala's dominating. That is far from if you've been here from the start, that is far from it. Sawa has been in this match so many games. This could have been a very close match. It could have been almost like a one-set-all match. But Alex is just being clutch. When she's needed to play well at deuce, she has the experience. She's number 53 in the world for a reason. She just has clutched it. Especially on serve, when she's been under pressure, she's been able to hold. For every game on serve, she's been able to hold when she needs to. And Sawa just isn't used to this. I mean, Eala is used to this pressure after the last 12 months, right? At the US Open, she played a ridiculous match where she came back from the dead. She's played high-quality, high-level matches throughout this year. Sawa hasn't had that exposure to these high-pressure moments as much in the last, 12 months that Eala has, right? And that experience definitely is showing right now. But Eala's going to serve for the gold medal. But this has been a competitive match. And Sawa, like I said, Sawa gets into the Australian Open main draw next year. Keep an eye on her, who she plays, because she might cause some trouble. She is a fierce competitor. Watching on my phone, but like how you commentate the game? Thank you. Appreciate that. That's the best way to watch the channel. Watch the match, come in here and shoot the shit. Talk about the what's going on. That's what that's what this is for. That's what we're here to do. All right, Eala's going to serve for this gold medal to win the gold for the Philippines in the tennis when it's been dominated by Thailand and Indonesia. She'll win one back for the Philippines in this event. As we default second serve. It's 40 degrees at the cricket. Yeah, that's brutal. Sawa has that Stearns energy. Yeah, that's that. Somebody said that earlier, and that was a good comparison. I think you said that. Did you say that, Gene, earlier? As we get a forehand now from Sawa down the line. Eala gets it back with a bit of a moon ball. It goes wide. Love 15. Just wondering why tennis was so aloof in Philippines before Eala. From what everybody's been telling me, it's because they don't have access to courts. They don't have many tennis courts in the Philippines. And if you know about how Eala's come into tennis, she grew up in the Philippines, but she didn't learn tennis in the Philippines. She went over to the Rafa Academy over in Europe, and she played tennis in Europe, right? She learned how to play tennis at the Rafa Academy. So that's how Eala's come out of it, out of this. Because Eala is the only player from the Philippines right now. Like, I couldn't tell you who the second or third best player is. But Eala's come through a different way. So I would guess that it's just like there's no courts. So that's hard to grow a tennis. And look, but Eala is going to hopefully be part of that change because she's doing well. The WTA realized that. They've made a Manila Challenger event next year. And now, hopefully with those two things, with the Eala success and then the Manila Challenger, those two events, those two things will help grow more players, right? And maybe the Philippines invest more in tennis courts, right? Which means that more players from the Philippines can play tennis and more people can play tennis on the lower levels to then eventually, progress up and become pros as well, right? That's how it starts. One player does it. I mean, look at Serbia, right? Serbia wasn't a tennis nation until Djokovic. I know that you can say, well, Monica Seles, but she did move to the US and play for the US, if you remember her story. But, Djokovic, Ivanovic, Jankovic, their success then built a foundation for Serbian tennis to become what it is now. And now there's a lot of players from Serbia, doing well on the men's side, and that's a lot of credit goes to Djokovic for that, right? Because more people want to be like Novak Djokovic, and more people from the Philippines are going to be wanting to be in the next Alex Eala. So they're going to jump on the tennis courts. Hopefully that they start building because of all this success, and then maybe we'll get more and more players from the Philippines doing well, just like we have in Japan and we've had in China over the last 20 years. All right, 30-15. Same goes for Indonesia. Same goes for Thailand, right? You get some successful Thai players. Then they've got it. I think Thailand have events, don't they? Already have WTA events or ATP events. So yeah. So right now, it might not look like the Philippines are a huge tennis nation, but they are a sleeping giant, and they could have. I mean, look at China, right? China was a sleeping giant, and then all of a sudden, in the last 10, 15 years, thanks to Li Na, tennis explodes in China, and now there's so many good Chinese players. 30-all good return for Sawa. And maybe the Philippines in 10, 15 years could be what Japan and China are right now. 30-all. Yeah, like a sleeping dragon, exactly. Sleeping giant, sleeping dragon, exactly. All right, return goes into the backhand of Eala, 2 points away from the gold. As Sawa gets it back, Eala backhand cross court. Sawa's got it with the forehand. Into the forehand of Eala. Sawa just defending as Eala backhand. Cross court is a win-up. Eala's got match point to win the gold for the Philippines. She won a bronze medal back in 2021 in this event. She didn't play in 2023. And now she's come in here and as the favorite, maybe equal favorite with Chen. But I would say the favorite because Chen's results have been good this year, but not as good as Eala. Even though their rankings are neck and neck. I think Eala's post-Wimbledon, post-Roland Garros, Eala's results have gotten better and better and better. And now she's got match point. And she serves down the tee into the forehand of Sawa. Return goes back into Eala. Sawa forehand is a slice. Eala gets it back with the backhand of the forehand of Sawa as Eala. Cross-court forehand. Slice from Sawa into the slice of Eala. Sawa with the forehand cross-court. That goes wide! Eala wins the gold at the Southeast Asia Games. Philippines in the women's singles take the gold. Thailand get the silver. But Alex Eala doesn't lose a set. And she takes home the gold as they both exchange a nice hug at the net. Alex Eala completes the mission. She comes in. She lost in the quarterfinals or the semis of the mixed doubles. She was only in those two events. And now she wins the gold for the Philippines. GG's. Wasn't easy, though. I mean, the scoreline says, 1 and 2, and simple. That was not simple. Alex Eala fought for that. Sawangkaew made it very tricky. She beat Chen in the semis and then pushed Eala here. Just wasn't as clutch as Eala. Eala was clutch on serve. There was only 1 or 2 games where Eala held easily. So it could have been a lot closer had Eala not played. Maybe if she played someone a little bit more experienced, it would have been a lot tougher. But I tell you, Sawangkaew is definitely a player I'm keen to see what she does next year because we've obviously been watching Eala all year. We've got Chen, who's coming out of Indonesia. You've all told me to watch her. She is Ash Barty 2.0. Would love to see that. But Sawangkaew has definitely got some grit about her as well. So I'm excited to see how she can progress into the new year as well. So Southeast Asia, they're coming. They're coming. They're making some waves in the tennis world, especially on the WTA. All right, gold for Alex. If you are leaving, by the way, don't forget to sub on the way out. I don't know if we're coming back before. If we're coming back before. I think Sawangkaew is in tears, and Eala is just giving her a hug. I don't know if we're coming back before Christmas, so if you are leaving, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We'll be back before the New Year, so don't worry about that. But if I don't see you before Christmas, Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Sawangkaew was ranked 100 when Eala was 140. I don't think so. Sawangkaew was 100 in the world. I think she was 100 in the world in June. And Eala was top 100 by then. All right. Eala is hugging family and friends. I think that's her mum and dad. Love to see it. Yeah, Sawangkaew was... Actually, you're right, though. Sawangkaew was 112 in the world before Eala broke out in Miami. So Sawangkaew was higher ranked than Eala at the start of the year, and then Eala overtook her. But Sawangkaew, again, she got to 109 in the world, and then she stopped playing for 6 months. And then during that 6 months, she got to 100 in the world. And then obviously Eala played. But yeah, you're right though. She was higher ranked than Eala was before Eala had that Miami run. So yeah, she was 100. She was on her way to top 100 before she got injured. So again, that's what I'm saying. Like Sawangkaew is definitely a player that you should watch out for. Also, these two played 12 months ago, and Sawangkaew won the match. So 12 months later, and the experience that Eala has gained from playing high-level matches and high-pressure matches definitely helped today. You could tell the clutchness was the key. All right. And the whole team are coming after Eala. She's trying to run away, and they're all getting her. They're going crazy. All right. Alex Eala is coming for Auckland. Yeah, she's playing in Auckland, I think. That's her next tournament. This was fun. Yeah, I'm glad we could watch this. I had it like as a tentative possible watch. So I'm glad we got to watch it. Because I know a lot of you want to keep up to date with what's going on with Eala, and I'm glad we were able to I was able to tune in to watch it. It's fun watching these like Olympic events, or these playing for your country events. Mission complete. Proud of Alex. Yeah. Yep. She won the gold. Now she did. She lost to Zhang in the Asia Games when Zhang won the gold medal a couple of years ago. So I guess the next thing for Eala in terms of Philippines gold would be the Asia Games. I think winning the gold medal in the Olympics would be a bit of a stretch because obviously you got to play everybody. But I think the Asia Games, she pushed Zhang to 3 sets a couple of years ago. So maybe maybe when that comes around in a couple of years, when is the Asia Games next year or the year after? I think the Asia Games are in 2 years, right? No, 27. I think 2027, maybe, or maybe it's next year. But yeah, she'd be a favorite there. I mean, obviously you've got a lot of good players from Asia at the moment, but she'd be up there as someone, especially gaining confidence from this. She'd like her chances. I'm bummed out that I only got the end of this. That's all right. Don't worry about it. Like I said, I don't think we're going to be doing any more matches before Christmas, but after Christmas, we've got matches. So don't worry. This isn't the last stream of the year. We've got plenty of stuff going on after Christmas. The only thing right now that's going on is the Next Gen Finals, and the World Tennis League. But both of those are not really that interesting to me at the moment. The World Tennis League is unfortunately, is just completely different to what it was, sort of last couple of years. It's been, there's not as many good players as there used to be. But there are next-gen finals going on, so... Yeah, Tien losing was crazy. We need 2026 predictions. Yeah, I'm going to do them at the end of the year, because... if I do, well, the thing is, if I do them now, if I had done them like yesterday, knowing what I know now with Alcaraz might change my predictions. So I need to wait until before the season starts. I'm not going to do it now, because if I do it now, it would be a little bit too early, I feel. But if I do them, I've got to see how something might happen in the next 2 weeks and before the season starts. So. After Christmas, the predictions come out, and I haven't even started doing them. No, my predictions will come out after Christmas. I think last year they came out like the week before the first week of the year, so because there's too much happening, right? I mean, knowing that Alcaraz is like Juan Carlos and Alcaraz not working together might change my. I might have to rethink my predictions a little bit, Or if Alcaraz gets like Andre Agassi to coach him, that might change things in a positive way. So I'm just gonna wait. Or somebody could get injured, right? I mean, that could also happen. So I'm just gonna wait until after Christmas, and then I'm gonna sit down, figure out my order of things, and go from there. I like it. We need like 100 million IQ predictions. Well, go watch Gil. He'll. If you want 100 million, if you want 10 million IQ predictions, you're in the wrong place. That's you're in the wrong place. Am I adding new stuff for predictions? No. I'll just be doing top 10 predictions, Grand Slam predictions. Just the usual. Should I do top 20 predictions? That feels really tough. Top 20? I might do top 20. That could be really bad though. Because I already get enough shit. I'm just inviting... but I kind of want to do it. Because I feel like it's really impossible. That could be... it would be impossible. Top 20 sounds more... yeah. If I do, more work for you, though, I got nothing else to do. I already get enough shit from my predictions, but making it top 20 just seems like inviting trouble. But... if I got one player in the top, if I got the number 16 in the world correct, that's worth 3 top 10 predictions. Yeah, maybe I'll do top 20 predictions this year to make it make it interesting. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Why not? I can't really. I mean. The Grand Slam predictions, I could do who's going to play who in the final. Maybe I'll do that. Should I do that or do top 100? Yeah, okay. All right, relax. 10 to 20 seems hard to guess. 100%. Well, that's the point. That's what I'm saying. If I get one right, holy shit. I could do... I don't know. How long are these videos usually, though? I don't want to make these videos 20 minutes long because that'd be annoying. I could do top 20. I might try. You know what? Maybe I will. Maybe I'll do top 20 predictions. That could be interesting. Because some players I don't feel comfortable. Like, every year, right? And you'll probably notice this with my predictions. Every year, I'll put in, like, the number 10 player in the world will be someone random. So I feel like rather than me putting Humbert at number 10, which I did this year, maybe that would be... I wouldn't feel under so much pressure to have to put some random player in. I could do I could do top 20 and then be like, oh, well, you know... Because people get shitty when I don't put their favorites in, but top 20 covers a lot of people. Like, for example, I would have put Draper at number 11 this year had I have picked top 20, and instead I just didn't have him in my top 10. Maybe I'll do top 20. I don't mind a 20-minute video. Maybe. Yeah, it's hard to pick 10 players, especially between, like, 6... I mean, if you look at the rankings for the men right now, I think it's between, like, 5 and... Is it, like, between 5 and 12? There's, like, 500 points or something crazy, right? The women's side's crazy, too. So maybe I'll do top 20 and just to make it a little bit easier on myself. So that way, like... Because if I don't have someone in the top 20, then you know that I've... If you don't agree, then you know I've fucked up, right? But I feel like top 20 might... It might be a long video, though. I just don't want it to be a long, boring video. But I could do it. I could try. Because, yeah, my video takes like 10 minutes. It's already long enough. Oh, maybe. Oh, you know what I could do? I could, we'll see. I kind of like a top 20 video, though. That might be fun. I like a challenge. And if I get one of the top... If I get someone in the top, outside the top 10 but top 20, if I get that right, that'd be crazy. You can make the first 10 minutes the key and the rest extra. Yeah, I mean, it might be a longer video, but I feel like it might be more interesting. Because top 10 is... The problem with top 10 that I find over the year as well is you can't really be... It's not really that... It's pretty predictable. Like, top 10's kind of predictable. That's the only thing. It's a little bit like, okay, Alcaraz, Sinner, Djokovic, Zverev, right? All of them are going to be top 10. Unless something horrible happens. Like, they're all going to be top 10, right? I mean, there's not much... On the women's side, the top 10's pretty locked in. So you'd be shocked if, maybe Keys falls out of the top 10. Maybe. But, like, Sabalenka, Swiatek, Gauff, Raducanu, Pegula, Anisimova, Paolini, Andreeva, they're probably all going to be there. So, like, it's kind of a bit like... Yeah, like, half the top 10's already... Like, it's an automatic win. Because whatever, right? It's just hard to put them in the right spot. But top 20, it's very difficult to pick who's going to be 17th in the world by the end of the year. Like, that's rough. That is, like, let me have a look at who's in the top 20 right now, and let me see if I wouldn't have picked Bublik to be top 20. I wouldn't have picked Menchik to be 19. I probably would have picked Medvedev and Ruud, top 20. Fokina, probably not. Tommy Paul, top 20, but not at 20. I would have put him higher. Hashanov's pretty consistent, so maybe him, but I feel like, yeah, okay. All right. I might do that. It might be a longer video, but yeah. But I kind of like the top 20, the challenge of top 20. Women's side, no idea. I have no idea. We'll see. I'll see how long... If the video is like 40 minutes long, I won't do it. Yeah, Gene, you can get credit for the idea. Just make it 2 videos. It's too long. If it's too long, yeah, maybe. Maybe. I have another idea, but I'm not going to say it because I don't know if I'm going to do it. But I have another idea for predictions as well. That might be fun. So it's funny because I don't know who it was. Somebody commented on one of the videos like, "Why would you do prediction videos of Grand Slams? It's so hard." I'm like, that's the point. That's the fun of it. Like, and I can speak. I can't speak for anybody else, but I can speak for I'll speak for myself. When I do predictions, it's not about getting them right. Like, I love getting them right because it makes me look smart, but. And everybody loves to look smart, right? But I don't like. It's more just fun for me to. I try and put in like some thought, right? And go, okay, well this might happen. If I get it right, I'm like, holy shit, that was awesome. But it's not. It is very hard, right? But it's also like I just don't take it that seriously. That's why you hear. That's why you see me putting like random players at number 10 because I would look like a genius if it happens, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't matter. It's fun for us too, yeah. And it's just fun to kind of like go, well, because in 12 months' time, anything could happen. That's what's the fun of it, right? And I mean, top 10 on Bear was a meme all year. But if on Bear made the top 10, you know what I'd be doing backflips, Yeah. But it's just fun, Predictions, again, I don't think you should take any predictions seriously. Unless somebody is saying to you, hey, I am this person, like I am this person and I am this expert and you should take me seriously. Like, I think you just you just should take all predictions with a grain of salt. We're all guessing at the end of the day. We can't predict injuries. We can't predict... There's a lot of things that just happen. Tennis is such a hard thing to pick. I mean, even on a daily, right? It's only like... I mean, not even like... Experts on TV don't even get it right, Everyone takes Gil's prediction so seriously. Well, but Gil gets them right, though. So that's different. Like, the way he does them, I got to figure it out because he does them and gets them right.
Yeah.
Pia.
Congrats again, Alex. Thanks, Cams, for cover.
All right. Thank you for the donation. Gil gets a lot of his right, though. He just gets a lot of shit when he doesn't get everything right, which is impossible for everyone. Like, yeah, Gil's predictions are insanely good. But they're not perfect, so then you get those like couple of people who are like, well, you got one wrong out of 100, and those are the people that talk shit because you didn't get them all right. But yeah, his predictions are always very solid. And if he doesn't get the prediction of the winner, he usually gets at least 2 or 3 of the runner-ups, right? He'll I think he did didn't he do last year? He did a video on like are my predictions really that bad? And then he went through like all his predictions from semifinals onwards, and he would pretty much get 2 out of 4 for the semis, and possible the champion. Like he gets a lot of them right, but nobody gives him credit unless he gets them. You don't get credit unless you pick the winner. If you don't pick the winner, then nobody, the people that are mad won't remember. Oh yeah, he does super well. But again, like I said, predictions are just for fun. They're just for fun. So maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do an extended video. Because why not just put myself, under more pressure? Why not just invite more, more reason for people to be like, well, you didn't get the number 15. Bring it. Oh, I'll take it. Will you do the best clip stream? We don't have many. Unfortunately, I don't think we have many clips. Next year, we're going to do it. I'm thinking in the new year, starting fresh next year, we'll do clips. Like, we'll do a clips thing next year. This year just kind of was a weird year. Things got out of hand and fell apart, and yeah. But next year, we'll probably focus more on clips and stuff. For that. Clip of the month? Yeah, maybe. Clip of the month might actually be a good idea. But you got. By the way, you've got to start clipping not just stupid things I say, but you got to clip like the some of the crazy points or some of the match points, because those things are big moments. Most people just clip the stupid things I say, which are funny sometimes, I guess. But yeah, we got to get more people clipping the crazy on court stuff that happens, instead of just me being a fool. You know, because then we have a variety of clips between me being an idiot and Alcaraz hitting tweeners, right? And Sinner winning Grand Slams. Like, though we need all the moments, not just me being me. The Poppy clip was goated. Oh yeah, that was great. That was great because it was like a great moment. I mean, it was a memorable moment in the tennis, and then I just happened to be losing my mind at the right time. All right, I got to get out of here, Chuck, because I got to go pick up some chairs, because I found yesterday two chairs that are from a cinema, an ex cinema chairs. Is that what it's called? They used to be at a movie theater, and then somebody is now they pulled them out. Somebody saved them, and now I'm going to go get them, because now maybe I'll sit in them. And they got cup holders and stuff. It's going to be great. So I got to go pick that up, because I have enough. Like, I didn't need more things, right? Because I have enough room for, like, a whole furniture store. But I got to go do that. But thank you for hanging out. Eala wins! Gold medal! Eala wins the gold. She takes out Sawangkaew in the final, and she wins the gold for the Philippines in the Southeast Asia Games. The first gold medal of the tennis for the Philippines as well this year. I think they have won them before, but this year it's the first gold medal for the Philippines in this event. And Eala completes it, which is great to see. And she's caps off a great year. Breakout season, career high ranking, and a gold medal to end it. If I don't see you before Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever you're doing, be safe with your family, your friends. I want to make sure after Christmas we all come back now, because don't get silly with it. But enjoy the time off. We've got 2 more weeks until the season officially starts. So even though it feels like it's been years since we've watched a legit tennis match, that's the ATP Finals was 7 years ago. And I'm losing my mind. But we'll be back in no time. Watch for more breaking news. Yeah, there might be more breaking news. I don't know. We just never know. I didn't know Alcaraz was going to split with Juan Carlos, but that happened. So hopefully nothing else crazy like that happens. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it does. But Eala wins 1 and 2. She wins the gold. I'll see you guys soon.